based on this. This is what you're going to have. This is your slide. Fully tape all seams after donning, after we get her donned. No contact with that outside the suit when doffing. That means taking it off. We'll see that in just a minute, how we best appropriate and help them get out of it. The key piece here, train support personnel. Do not put, when they're doffing, I can let you have it, meaning that you can have someone that for the first time helping someone get dressed in a clean, non-contaminated suit. Most anybody can help do that, except for knowing what the essentials are, because watch what I do when I start. The team has been activated. I've got basically a chair or a stool or however you have set out for them. This chair, the reason it's got plastic on it now, is going to simulate being in a doffing setting to where we can clearly decon this chair. It would be either metal or something non-porous that we would have it. But I'm going to have support personnel. Anybody can help except for, I'm going to test when she starts donning her PPE. I'm going to start as a support personnel checking her respirator. I'm going to turn it on. I'm going to check the CFM, the flow, cubic feet per minute, flow of it. I'm going to show it to her so that she sees what I see when I do that while she's continuing to put on the PPE up to her waist. Make sense? So that we can do this collaboratively. Don't use any shortcuts. If you use shortcuts, that just means that you've got something set up, but don't cut out anything particular. When you walk into the room under an activation tomorrow, if you're activated, the first thing, if you don't have someone doing it, is to test your packer. Because I don't want to put on a malfunctioning piece of equipment. That's the time to test it. These have a battery tester button on the bottom. However, I know in these units that when I turn it on, it tells me in the unit itself how the battery is. I don't necessarily push the battery tester. I put it in and then let the machine tell me. If I have a problem at that point, then I'll take it apart and go from there. All right? But that said, you've been activated. I'm going to ask you to come in and start putting your PPE on while I test this for you. Before you do it, hold up. Before we do it, what I want to do is, this is putting the suit on for the first time. It's just a quick and real quick look at the seams. I'm just looking to make sure I don't see anything out of the ordinary for underneath these areas. That's all I'm looking at. It's a real quick, general. I like it. Ready. Okay. All right, click with me. Maxed out, that's good. That's all perfect. Now, where can we go from here? Put the boots on, in my opinion, because it just makes it easier. I'm not ready to put the gloves on. Some people put the gloves on and go through their suit. I like that better. And remember what we said, whether you tuck or whether you're on the outside. Recommendation is, if you're working at an angle like this where you want that runoff, thinking about the flow of water, outside. But if I'm on the outside, it needs to be taped. If I'm on the inside, it needs to be taped. Either way to protect yourself. With that said, boots. Coming up behind you. All right, good. At this point, I'm going to say, if you want to start putting your first set of gloves on, your nitros, I'm going to come behind you with this.
So you really wanted to wait until it was zipped up before you put that belt on, right?
Yes, you want to get it at least over the hump here. And here's the thing, we're going to undo it in just a minute because I want to take that seam. You good? At this point, I want you to go ahead and put your, remember to use powder if need be. Ready?
What do you mean put powder?
Powder in the butyl gloves to make them slide in easier, because if they're wet, if you've re-cleaned them or something like that, you're gonna stick going
Like
down in
baby
there
powder
too.
or
Yeah,
towel
baby
powder?
powder. Just some baby powder down in there if you need to. And you'll see that if you've worn yours this week, they're probably wet or still
Right.
damp. Just put a little, and they're in the rooms, just sprinkle a little baby powder on the top of the butyl and let it sit. Doesn't affect it and won't cause it any problem. All right, turn the system on. I'm watching again to make sure I see a full clear as it goes through its system check. All right, it's ready. You good? Coming over. Now, most of our suits have a double layer where you tuck one down inside, and this is going to take you a while to get that tucked in. And what I will tell you is, if you have a double layer and you tuck it down inside, which most MSAs do not wad it up, folks. Unzip it down and put it out. And the reason for it is to blow up like a balloon. It'll cause the suit to blow up if you don't allow it to be able to breathe through the suit. Make sense? All right, so I like it. I get a thumbs up from you. Everything's good. You feel air. Now, where am I going? Now I want to tape her before she leaves. I've got this and this. So what I'm basically going to do is start with the wrist, and you can go multiple different ways, but I like to try to keep my tab this way to where she can see it and turn it in. I don't care how you do it, as long as you choose to do it that way each and every time for them to be able to see where it's at. And so I look at you and say, there. These boots are not necessarily required, and simply said, because we have cuffs that cover the whole top, but I'm going to do it so you see it. Tab is still to the outside. And the tab's in the back. Now, the storm flap, Tristan. I'm gonna let you. I mean, you get it. Yep. I want to put the tab down bottom. So she's going to open that up. Let me get out of the way. Now, my recommendation is they've had somebody in there dressing her. She's approaching now to deploy. Come this way. I have another person trained, understands, been in the gear, clear, looks at him and says, thumbs up, and points them down range. Lets them go to work. That's just that secondary, did we miss something? That we had the opportunity, or they're leaving here with an elevated back or something like that that's up and out of the way. Again, remember, you usually have a double flap that goes down in there. All right? Any questions? Any questions? Make sense? Now, This chair